finance. Bruce Sellery is here. We're talking about budgeting basics. Financial expert.
Am I allowed to wear my shoes for this segment? Everybody's taking off their shoes. I don't know.
It's a relaxed environment.
Okay, I'm keeping mine on.
We're like, kick the shoes off, grab a coffee. We're going to talk about budgeting basics.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes when you say budgeting, people's ears start to close. Right?
I love talking about budgeting. Like Marilyn loves to talk about chicken and the size of the garlic that she got at her farmer's market. I love talking about budgeting.
Right.
We are going to have fun.
We are going to have fun because it's a crucial thing, and I think what you are talking about is not so much punitive, because people think punitive. So let's talk about what a budget is.
Yes, so a budget is an estimate of future income and expenses. It's future-oriented, because a lot of times people think of a budget and they're like, I have to track every single thing, and it's horrible. Yeah. This is not it. If you are someone who wants to get a better handle on your money, then you need to have a better handle on it by watching what comes in and what goes out. Because the fundamental principle of personal finance is that you need to live within your means. But on a day-to-day basis, it can be hard to figure out, like, how much do I have? How much can I spend? So a budget is a great way to do that, to ensure that your money balances over time. Not on the day or the month, but on the couple of months or at least on the year.
So you're looking at the trajectory.
Yes.
You're not looking sort of at the daily minutia. I want to know where do you start, because it can seem overwhelming.
Daunting. So the first step is what I call analyze. And this is looking at what's happening now, what's coming in, what's going out. And analyze A is followed by B and C, A, B, C. This is my method. So analyze, brainstorm, change. When we look at all of our money, we're like, what's my income? What am I spending my money on? And you just get a sense for it.
Yes.
Because for the most part, and we've talked about this many times, we're like, la, 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 I just don't want to look. You need to look. So you're going to analyze. Then the second step is you're going to brainstorm some things that you could change for the future. Not everything. Because human beings have a limited amount of willpower. We don't have an unlimited amount. So rather than focusing on, I can't buy lattes, or I can't, go shopping with my girlfriends every month or so, focus on what are some ideas that you could execute to change when it comes to your spending. But at this point, you're not committing to anything. You're just brainstorming, like, what could I do? Then the third step, the C, is what are you going to commit to change for the future? And maybe it's one or two things, but they could be big things that are going to make a big difference to your budget, rather than all these little things.
Okay, so look at the bigger thing.
I
get it, though.
Yeah.
Like I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
So the traditional budgeting approach would be that you're looking at all the
and it's too much work. I don't want to do it.
Everything.
No. So I have an approach called sustainable spending.
Okay.
Sustainable spending. So what's sustainable? Sustainable is a way of utilizing natural resources such that they exist over time. Like if you think about the environment, we need to be sustainable. So I want a method that is sustainable, because if we track everything, it's too complex, it's too much work, and it's all about scarcity versus abundance, right? And there are times in our life when it's really scarce. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You've lost your job. You're going through a divorce. But when you're through the crises, then how do you have it be abundant and not be micromanaging every single thing? Because tracking, which is what a lot of people think of when it comes to budgeting, makes very little difference.
It does.
It makes very little difference, because you'll say to a compulsive tracker, what are you tracking? And they'll say, I spent $21.63 on lip gloss.
And?
Who cares?
Right.
I don't care. Buy as much lip gloss as you want, but make sure that the basement apartment that you have is rented, because that's what's going to make a big difference. So let's not just track. We need to make some big choices and have a simple process that has us just be conscious of what we're spending.
Okay, so you've touched on it. What is sustainable spending?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah, so let me give you an example. So this is a couple that I worked with. Second marriage for the male in this relationship, the kids 10 and 12. And we had them analyze it. So what's going on? They had a lot of consumer debt. They had a house in a nice neighborhood. They had 2 car payments. They had no education savings. That was kind of the snapshot of what they were going through. Brainstorming, there were some ideas there that they didn't love, but they considered, like moving to a less nice house. Okay, that's one thing. Selling the second car, stopping going to the mall. They considered getting a second job on weekends, or making sure that one of them went and either got a raise or got a better paying job. So those were all the ideas. And then they chose 2 very specific ideas. Number 1, they said, no more mall. We're just not going to the mall.
Yeah.
So we will go grocery shopping, but we're not going to the mall. And the second thing is they move to a smaller house in a less desirable neighborhood.
Yes.
Which you think, how could you do that? The dislocation is massive. But because of the consumer debt that they have, they were able to go from $2,500 a month to $1,500 a month, saving $1,000 a month. And they were able to slam that consumer debt down very, very quickly and start saving for their kids' education, which was something that was really, really important to them.
That is so interesting. So you have to look at the big things that are making a big money difference, not necessarily the tiny little minutiae, daily minutiae.
Buy your latte.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely rent the basement apartment. I love that. So is there a best approach in your opinion?
There is no best approach. There is a slow or a low, a medium approach, and a fast approach. So the high one, or the most involved one, is tracking everything. But medium might just be using envelopes on discretionary spending.
Right.
Now, let me sneak in a couple of ads.
Yeah.
Mid.com, which brings in all your bank information. And this one called You Need a Budget. It's a great app. It starts with assigning every dollar a job.
Okay.
Give every dollar a job.
It's very clear. You need a budget.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly what it is.
There is no mince in words.
Okay, it can be really easy then. What you need to do is start looking at choices and start picking out a couple of the ones that are achievable.
Yes.
And they don't hurt too much.
Yes.
Right?
Onwards.
And then it all comes together. Thank you so much for that.